X Esports.
And his opponent in the red looking to improve on his result from last season. This is ButAlways.
Oh my, what a shot. Fantastic camera angle we've got there from ButAlways. I think it's great though, even though the camera setups aren't always perfect and stuff. There's something about getting these players' reactions in the comfort of their own rooms and their own homes in the setup that they're used to that really is nice. It looks like ButAlways wanted to come across and do a fast expand, but Nice is blocking it on his side of the map. So yeah, nice pylon goes down. It's going to be just forced to go into the Cybercore for now. And that's important. If Nice didn't do this and his expansion gets blocked while his opponent is fast expanding, you can end up in a very awkward position. But as it is, ButAlways playing a one-gate opening, being forced to build a Zealot to start working on that pylon. Just not able to take advantage. And ButAlways is so confident, he drinks some of his water in the middle of the game.
Yeah, this is the beauty of having those cameras. You see some of the emotion, you see some of the stoicism, you see who's the stone cold killer. I think we saw him take a good sip yesterday after a win like it was no big deal. There's a cute little insight there to how these players sort of interact behind the scenes. So that Zealot's going to start working on that pylon. Oh, it's so cheeky.
No expand for you. Stargate goes down immediately in the main as ButAlways isn't able to expand anytime soon. Two Adepts going to try and work their way across the map as well. Nice, just keeping his finger on the pulse of this game. Of course, the Cybercore, it's not cheap, but you can always cancel that just before it finishes, and it's got such a long build time and so many hit points that it's going to be a big delay either way.
Yes, indeed. And might see an Oracle follow-up here from Nice. He has in the past gone along with a few Stalkers and a couple Oracles as a bit of a poke towards his opponent. It can be a little bit difficult, but obviously from there you can just defend and hopefully head into a more comfortable mid-game. In fact, it's actually going to be the Void Ray, and this is something we've seen a bit more Void Ray in this region than others, I think.
Yeah, it's their the animal, the resident state animal of Taiwan is actually the Void Ray. A lot of people don't know that, but Haas being the national hero that he is, they've decided to take that on. Yeah, second Void Ray. This is just a one-base Void Ray 3-gate. Like I said, give ButAlways an excuse. He'd love to do it. He's like, oh, you blocking my natural? Okay, let's go. But not being secretive at all about it. Can Nice block this? I mean, it's basically going to be 2-gate Stalker Sentry, holding the high ground with shield batteries, unlimited healing on the shield batteries, up against, Snipes the probe, nice, okay, no gateway there for quick warpins. I don't know if he was planning on using that anyway, but overcharge, Void Ray comes in, gets a Stalker before the shield batteries up. That's really important, takes down a significant portion of the DPS.
Yes, those shield batteries are going to be the really important part of this defense. I think he should be okay. The Void Ray can really be a bother here, but because he's got such a nice position to fall back to, and as we saw, the utility of those force fields as well to help peel off a couple of units here and there is also really helpful. But great pressure to start the game off here from ButAlways. He's continuing to probe a little bit behind this. We'll see if he ends up getting any more damage done here. He's struggling a little bit to find the right opportunity.
Where is that second Void Ray? It's here now. 4 Adepts looking to shade in 4 Stalkers. The Void Ray is actually going to rotate and try to snipe those gateways on the high ground. Look at this. A nice move. Goodbye Gateway is going to try and make Nice lose some production time. Gets the double Stalker warp in just before they get depowered. Well done from the blue Protoss. And Prismatic Alignment's about to wear off, so those Void Rays, it's not really the time to fight with them. The Shade goes in, but look at that battery overcharge. Oh, that healing is epic.
Yeah, nothing's really dying for Nice here. Of course, he lost the pylon. That sucks. It's really annoying, but he's doing just fine. And with these Stalker numbers, it's a little bit easier for him to be a bit more confident with the snipes on some of these units. He's getting some more shield batteries for good measure to make sure that there's no way ButAlways is going to break through here. He's targeting down those Void Rays. He does get one of them.
That other Void Ray, it's one volley from death. It turns on prismatic alignment, but it goes down. And there we go with 2 more shield batteries finishing as well. 35 probes versus 22. Not a good map to do a Void Ray Stalker all in on. Perfect defense of the ramp. Nice. I mean, honestly, I want to say he shepherded him into the all-in, but it was more like waving a red flag in front of the bull. He said, come at me. I know you want to. Come on, mate. I'm going to give you every excuse to do a one-base attack, and I'm going to be super well prepared for it. That was really good play.
Yeah, very nicely done. ButAlways made the best of not being able to expand there and just stuck to the old faithful build, but nice defensively is really good. He didn't seem like he was sweating too much there. At worst, he lost a pylon, but overall, he handled that beautifully, took it very seriously. Great targeting, good use of the force fields here in the early stages of the fight. And once you eliminate the Void Rays, that extra oomph that your army has is gone, and you don't really have much opportunity to gain any momentum from there, because, I mean, you're attacking into shield batteries.
Yeah, there's no burst damage, right? When you get like 12 Stalkers, you just one-shot a Stalker, one-shot a Stalker, that's great, but Void Rays are like this constant, super fast beam attack that's like, it just ticks like every half a second. So it's not something where you can just go, bam, no chance to heal, right? Unless you have like 10 Void Rays all shooting something at once. So the super battery just got insane value. Massive, you know, reaction speed to nice as well, by the way. Seeing those gateways going down, it's like as the pylon depowers starts the warp-ins, they don't get cancelled. As long as you've started the warp-ins, they will finish. And yeah, makes the best of that hold. The ramp there with the force fields on it as well was super deadly. And you know what? It wasn't like, oh, I think you're all-inning. There was a hallucination as the attack moved across the map as well.
Yeah.
So you could see there was like layers of insurance and double checking exactly what was going on.
Spoiler alert, you're getting a big attack coming to your front door. Very well handled by Nice. A sub 6-minute game to kick things off here. We've been having a pretty quick night so far, so let's see if ButAlways can get a point on the board. That is coming up right after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back, friends. It is time for another map of PvP. Nice versus ButAlways coming in here for our first Taiwanese series. Nice, currently leading 1-0 with a pretty short and sweet game. Very straightforward win after a good defense. So hopefully ButAlways has a few more tricks up his sleeve. Spoiler alert, I know that he does because he does them a lot. And can get some points on the board because he is a sort of lower ranked player than Nice in terms of overall results. It would be really cool to see him overcome Nice here in this winners bracket, I guess we can call it, even though it's the first round.
Indeed, it would be so cool to see an upset or at least a nice close series, because so far we're 6-0 across the two series we've cast. To begin, I'd like this region to be a little bit closer. I'm sure we will see these games get sloppy, get scrappy, get messy, but I cannot guarantee any of them will go above 8 minutes. This is Taiwanese PvP at its best, at its fiercest, at its most deadly. Down here, the favorite, last season's champ, it is Alpha X's Nice.
And his opponent in the red in the top left, this is ButAlways.
Loving the music here with the intros. I'm enjoying these games so far. A change up with who goes for the high ground and the low ground this time. Reversal of the roles.
I think ButAlways is actually teamless at the moment. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a little bit unreal to me because he's sitting here in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely is out there, ready to be picked up and represent. Hey, all right, this is a familiar scenario on this map, isn't it? Nexus expand there for Nice after the gateway gate gas. Nexus Cybercore up against the 2 gate. Now the thing is, ButAlways not one to scout particularly quickly a lot of the time. Hides that pylon there. Could be preparing for a proxy. He's not going to know about this expand until well after he's committed to the 2 gate. There's already going to have started the 2 gateway units as well by the time he spots that there's an expand. And in fact, ButAlways doesn't even care to look for it. This is something, ButAlways is one of the players who scouts the least in this matchup. For an expert PvP player, and I really do feel this is one of his best matchups, sometimes he just doesn't care about scouting. Like, he goes in with some really tough, decisive game plans, and this probe at the front of the natural only now goes in. I'm curious why he waited so long.
Well said. Yeah, I think he's just, I don't know, that's just his preference, I guess. He's like, I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to execute this strategy. And we've seen it kind of be a little bit weird sometimes because he's like, you know what? No matter what happens in this series, I'm going to do proxy robo every game. And you see it get slapped down twice in a row. And you're like, you sure about that? And then game 3, what does he do? He goes proxy robo. So I don't know if he's got a screw loose or what, but he makes it work because he manages to get deep into these tournaments. He's well practiced with the builds that he does try to execute here. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch.
There's even like really good pro players where their weakness is freezing up under pressure or losing that decisive edge. ButAlways has never had that problem.
No.
When ButAlways sees danger, he accelerates towards it, you know, like he's never unconfident. He is sometimes reckless. But I think execution is usually fantastic. Now that is very unfortunate for him because he's been spotted. Nice finds his proxy pylon while setting up his own. The Twilight's been spotted. I mean, a Sentry for an Adept was already a great trade. You've got the quicker expand. You've got a 3 probe advantage. Earlier Stargate production here with the Oracle on the way. I mean, Blink's good tech against this. ButAlways has some scouting. It's not unrecoverable, but it's definitely a great start for Nice.
Yep, he's already heading over here with a couple of Stalkers. Might tickle that pylon down. And ButAlways is going to be waiting on that Blink and Forge tech as his of choice. So that does give him a little bit of help against the Stargate units here coming out. There are going to be 2 Oracles on the way from Nice, but this is that sort of Stalker Oracle pressure that he sometimes likes to do. Can be a little bit difficult to deal with.
Forge and Twilight quite a bit quicker for ButAlways. But Nice also going to play the same tech from just a little bit later in the game. And I would imagine from this sort of setup, Nice could opt for a reasonably quick third base after adding some gateways. ButAlways going to add a robo as well, get a bit more scouting, some detection, and just a build up towards Blink. Interesting cannons coming down here for ButAlways. Just wants to probably put that cannon to cover the main base, can pull the Stalkers and the Sentries out of there, not worry so much about the Oracle dives.
Yeah, Nice from here. Heading into his own Blink. Look towards the Mortals as well, dropping those 4 extra gates. But yeah, some pretty tame early game so far. These Oracles are still looking for opportunities, but also getting a bit of vision, getting those stasis traps down as well on those potential expansions. One does go down though, a little bit unfortunate there. Got to be careful. ButAlways has a pretty nice Stalker spread there.
I like that stasis trap on the third, looking to delay that. ButAlways going right on up to 6 gateway Blink Immortal here. Off the back of 2 sentries. Nice is not going for a third base yet. Now, I feel like Nice normally would have in this scenario, but knows the opponent very well. And I think is just saying, chances are you're going to get aggressive sooner rather than later. Stop on 2 base, get up plenty of gateways of my own, get up lots of Stalkers, and only then move out to the third base.
Yeah, he squeezed out a few extra workers there as well. And can certainly go for that third base. It just gets a little bit tight trying to hold on to it when your opponent's being aggressive. But Nice isn't afraid to march out a little bit himself and just try and see, okay, where is ButAlways at? What's going on here? So that he can make sure he's safe to do what he needs to do to continue pushing that economy forward, continue getting that tech. We see Immortals joining the fray here a little bit. Ooh, Sentry's getting a little bit fresh. They do retreat into the natural just in case ButAlways decided to try and take those out, but ButAlways is in Stalker production mode at the moment.
Tried to take his third base behind this, but it got frozen by the stasis. Ooh, Nice comes out to intercept him. Says, hey, I've got an Immortal and Force Fields here. ButAlways backs down the ramp. ButAlways still has not been able to take that third. That probe was frozen, blocking it. So it's essentially 2 base versus a player going up to 3. A crazy Blink forward. That Immortal is exposed. He gets focused down to the left, but another Immortal rallies in, and that might be enough to turn the tide. More Stalkers coming in. ButAlways diving hard and deep. Can he take out that Immortal? Yes, he can.
Oh, there's no micro capability here for that Immortal. Gets targeted down, and these Stalkers have to retreat. There's much more left over for ButAlways here. There is a defender's advantage for Nice, though. He has the shield battery. He's got those warp ins close to that natural, out of the way from danger, and he wants to be able to get that Immortal. Oh, he tries to go for the warp prism, but he actually gets a few Stalkers taken out there. Risky moves.
Jebaited. That was really, really bad. That was a lot of Stalkers going down when already Nice was on the danger zone, and the Immortals and Stalkers coming for that. Immortal is adding so much damage to this army. I mean, the Oracle comes in, adds a stasis trap as a little bit of backup, but Nice is down 5 Stalkers and an Immortal right now. The shield batteries need to help out, but they're at the third base. They're not here.
Both players now have the +1 attack. That Immortal, as you mentioned, is a huge thorn in the side of Nice at the moment as he tries to take some good engagements here. Probe's coming up the line. He's getting the Immortal rallied in as well. Will this be enough for Nice to hold? ButAlways is getting a bit sandwiched here. He still has the Blink capability though. Immortal falls down again, and there's still less Stalkers for Nice available. He gets the Prism, but he's losing so many workers. It's too much. And ButAlways. Oh, excuse me.
Not bad at all from ButAlways. Says, oh, you blocked my third. Guess what? I am actually going to inspire choking in you. You're so excited watching these plays, Zeph, that I hope you're okay. Just
choking on my own saliva as you do.
That's all right. I often try to breathe water and drink air, so I'm familiar with this sort of experience.
Yeah.
But
wow.
no worries. That was a very, very good game there from ButAlways. It looked like things were going Nice's way from the start, right? But then the Oracles didn't find much, right? They were defended perfectly. It was a slight lead, but what did that lead go into? It went into shield batteries, a third base, things that weren't army. And while the army was still very close, this fight just ended up being way better for, of course, ButAlways. He was warping in Stalkers. Shield Batteries didn't take part in this fight. The extra warp-ins were there a bit quicker, and the Immortals both got sectioned off and focused down without getting that many shots off. Meanwhile, that one Immortal in the back was just an absolute hero for ButAlways, constantly dishing out the damage. And I really do think Nice just got way too ahead of himself. Should have been more defensive in this circumstance. Got too antsy, went out and just took a couple of, I think, overly aggressive fights.
Yeah, really nicely done here from ButAlways. Once that core goes down, I mean, you're so limited for options. You've already only got like a probe pool and one Immortal left. And while the Warp Prism snipe was eventually successful, it's just too little too late. And good smile there from ButAlways at the end, being like, yes, we're on the board. We're still alive.
Indeed, ties up the series. And I said I couldn't promise any map would go above 8 minutes. That was 8 minutes and 29 seconds. So that is one of the longest PvPs you're likely to see tonight. And you know what? Not a bad one at all. I kind of like that one. Just good commitment to a timing attack, getting in there. Those Stalker Sentry Immortal fights with like the force fields and stuff, my brain always kind of wrinkles a little bit, just kind of trying to process everything that's happening. I'm like, wait, who's landing more hits? Who's keeping more Stalkers alive? Are the Immortals fighting? Are the Immortals getting focused down? You know, like there's a lot of things that go on. It takes a lot of experience to manage those engagements, but yeah, ButAlways very decisively just gets on top. And I think Nice needed to stay with those batteries for just 1 or 2 more warp-ins.
Yeah, it's a difficult call to make. It almost looked like a favorable engagement for him over towards the third base, because you had that scenario where they both dumped all their force fields on the ground, and suddenly ButAlways' Immortal isn't really in the fight, but it kind of is. And then, unfortunately, the Immortal from Nice gets pushed forward, it gets sniped. You know, it's very back and forth, and the engagement can change in a split second, and suddenly, uh-oh, I'm down 4 Stalkers. What happened? And you've got to pull back. So it is hard. I can't really fault him for being out there a little bit too long and going like, oh, whoops, this isn't looking good anymore. But yeah, that's the nature of PvP, man. It goes from 0 to 100 real quick. And that's what makes it such an interesting matchup.
Go for that prism as well, right? And you don't get it. Oh, it hurts. You know, sometimes you make a miraculous hold by diving, getting the prism and getting out. But in that case, it was the initiation of a terrible second part to the engagement for Nice. And things went from bad to worse. Of course, it ties up the series. And next map is going to be Lightshade. It's always cool to see the different styles that are going to come out, and how do the players approach these. Personally, I look at Lightshade, lots of wide open areas, and part of me still thinks a lot about Zealots, but the recent months of PvP, I mean, Zealots are a kind of niche transitional supporting unit and counterattack unit. It's almost all about the Blink Stalkers clashing with the opponent's Blink Stalkers, and unless, you know, I don't know the last time I actually saw a pro player go Immortal Charged Archon without opening up Blink. That used to be an option players would sometimes do, but almost never these days. Blink is like just an integral piece of every player's PvP.
Yeah, I think we might have seen that style a little bit in some of the Southeast Asian games last season, but this season looking a little bit scarce on that. It's been mostly the good old Stalker Disruptor in that mid game, really hard to engage into. You know, we saw some great PvPs between Probe and T-Ball in that regard as well. But I find that the Taiwanese region tends to be a little less on that. It actually depends who's playing against, I guess, because sometimes we've had those like really long PvPs, full late game, you know, 4 or 5 bases a piece. No one's really committing to an engagement. But I think just the way these two players like to head into a game lends itself to that shorter format. A few more cheeky structures around the map, perhaps. But let's see what Lightshade has in store for us. In the bottom right, in the blue, this is Nice.
Representing Alpha X proudly, the King of Taiwan is normally known as Haas, but of course, I guess we can call Nice the Kingslayer last season. Now, up here, I mean, can he be the Slayer of the Kingslayer? Let's find out. In the top, in the red, it is ButAlways. love that camera shot. I think he was just shuffling in his seat, but it kind of is so zoomed in. It kind of looked like he just sat back down at his computer, like he'd stepped away for the first 45 seconds of the match.
Yeah. He's a bouncy player, but always I find he tends to like move around a lot, whereas Nice is very still. Not a lot of reaction from him. I do also like how a lot of the players are popping on their jerseys for the for the matches.
Yeah, it's good. Get the rep for the teams down. Give their sponsors some love here in this very strange year of StarCraft. But so happy we've still got the DreamHack Masters coming through and all these different regions getting so much love. Spots feeding through into those season finals. It's just such an odd last 6 months, I feel, where it's like, and I mean, it's more like the last 4 months, isn't it? Where it's like you get a month where it feels like there is literally StarCraft on live 18 hours a day while we're going through these regions and then the season finals. And it's like, bam, bam, endless games, so many awesome matches. The meta's evolving so quickly. There's so much competition going on. And then comes to a month of like break and you're like, oh, okay, cool, not that much going on, and then bam, again, non-stop StarCraft. And I just, an abundance of StarCraft is a great problem to have, you know. For me, I'm like, oh, I don't have time to watch this. Should I watch this match or that match? Which ones are the ones I really need to catch up on? But as much as I enjoy watching StarCraft, the Taiwanese players have been saying, you know, Pig, that's a problem for you, but we're going to shorten the matches so you can watch them all because we're both proxying. Proxy Robo versus Proxy Stargate. Hot damn.
Yes, I was wondering with his dedication to the strategy last season if we were going to see a bunch of Proxy Robo from ButAlways again. You don't want to become predictable, especially when you're probably going to be facing the same guys as last time. But he has popped it out here on Lightshade for game number 3 towards the middle of the map. Nice. Ooh. Going for a bit of a closer proxy.
And cancels it.
Yeah.
Gets spotted and cancelled. So yeah, this is ButAlways, by the way, is so funny. It's like there's a scout in his base and ButAlways is like, yep, hello. Builds a third gateway to fully wall his base. This is the ButAlways special. Like just doesn't care. He's like, I'm going 3-gate Robo. Just in case you didn't know, I know you haven't seen the Robo, just so you know, 100% for sure. Yes, I will show you my third gateway. I will wall off my base, and I am going to go at you hard. I mean, there is, at the moment, I'm just trying to keep an eye on it. Is there a probe on the map? There's one in the very top right. Proxying another pylon for ButAlways, and that makes me think there might be a follow-up plan of like DTEs or disruptors or something like that. Because obviously Nice has so much warning. He knows this is coming. He pulls back up into the main base, and this game's about to get very weird.
Yeah. I think weirdness is where ButAlways flourishes, though. That's why he loves the strategy, and it's a good way to try and get an advantage over your opponent.
Catching the stalkers as well? If he gets 2 of those, that would be huge. This is a great start. And you know, I wouldn't mind a Colossus to break force fields or like a Robo-Bay for like a disruptor or something like that. I've got my eyes on that top right of the map. And ButAlways, what are you gonna do as your next layer to this? He's clearly got a plan. I saw him micro that probe a moment ago, but I think he's waiting to scout what tech he's up against before he decides.
Yeah, Nice has just pulled back into his base. He's going for the Robo, getting his own Immortals, knowing, okay, you're gonna have quite a bit of stuff out, so I need something to defend against that with. But
he thinks he's gonna get counter dropped. He thinks there's a prism on his side of the map. He's ferrying everything back into his main. What?
I'm a bit confused by this, actually.
And he's building his own stuff. What? I think he really thinks that there's a prism that's snuck out or something. I mean, there is obviously all these stalkers whopping in on the left for Nice. There is definitely things missing. And these stalkers will keep him safe. So he's going to do a double Immortal drop on the other side, defend with stalkers at home, and then go into Phoenix production. Normally it's Phoenix to disable Immortals and pick off the prism. But it could technically be Void as well.
It could be. It could be. Oh, Nice. Gets a pylon. Is not quite supply blocked. Actually, Nice is supply blocked.
Oh!
Get him! Carnage. Oh boy. That is rough for Nice, but always may take this opportunity now to push forward because he goes, oh, okay, I think I see what's going on. I see where those missing units were. And he could go for a bit of damage. Looks like he's actually pulling back towards where that proxy location was with the prism. And Nice to continue to be a little bit active here, just pulling all his stuff back. consolidating his forces, and we see that production from the Stargate starting to come out now.
Hiding those Phoenix for now, which is very important. Third Immortal has popped out here for ButAlways, which is awesome. Like, way better units. Nice is gonna has the Sentry energy gathering and, you know, is going for a Twilight and stuff. Can, when things like Charge finish, be in a better position, but right now a 4th Immortal on the way, and that's a fake Nexus. Scouts the Nexus, and ButAlways comes in with the Immortals as well. He's going to do an all-in behind this, almost certainly. He's going to warp in some Zealots behind this, but already just grabbing a pylon, damaging some units, trying to be annoying. I think a round of Zealots warping in off the Robo and a 4th Immortal joining this. This is going to be a powerful, powerful push from ButAlways.
Oh, he lifts up the Immortal with the Phoenixes, and he's using this Warp Prism for maximum micro. However, he does lose it. The Stalkers join in from the left-hand side with an extra Immortal friend. And Nice is getting beaten down here a little bit. He doesn't have a lot left. The Phoenix is targeting that Prism as well, removing it from the fight a bit. And there's the second lift on that Immortal. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
GG. But always on match point.
So decisive. What a crazy push. The way he went in, he's like, oh, you're going to chase my drop? And he's like, no, I'm going to drop on your army with 2 Immortals and a Phoenix. Who starts the fight against the opponent's whole army with 3 units? Well, ButAlways was like, no, like, I know right now, if I can just start trading units and the rest of my Immortals come in, you can't fight 4 Immortals right now. I've just got to hit before, you know, Charge, Blink, Colossus, anything extra comes out, and you get shield batteries on this low ground, and just hunting the map. And this is the strange thing about ButAlways. He will show you a 3-gate Robo, he will make an observer first, scout everything you're doing, and have the most chilled response from there. He is happy to just slowly work forwards from there. Whereas a lot of other players like, I gotta do damage, I gotta kill you, I gotta kill you, I gotta kill you. You know, you can play super safe against and just be fine and get ahead. Against Nice, he's like, no. I've got my second follow-up. It's Stargate Phoenix to counter your Robo. I'm going to defend your counterattack. And look at this initiation. This was such a weird attack. The Prism gets focused down, but he like baits Nice into the open, disabling the Immortal. Yes, he loses one of his own, but then look at that. The Stalkers, the Immortals, the Phoenix gunning down the Prism, disabling the Immortals. I mean, where's the damage in Nice's army? It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, he just ultimately has the better force. He made that judgment call that, like, you know what, I can afford to engage in this sort of semi-staggered manner and still be totally okay. And I think the difficult thing is Nice there is how do you respond? Because you mentioned a lot of Protosses are like, no, go, I gotta do damage with my proxy Robo, and that's kind of what I was expecting him to do there. But you know, for Nice, he's trying to read. He's like, okay, so you coming, or like, what's the deal here? So really well played. I mean, ButAlways is looking so good, and he may be on the path to victory here now, sitting on match point. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll see if he can take the win or if Nice will remain alive. Don't go away. Greetings, fellow nerds. We are back and ready for another PvP map. ButAlways is on match point here. This could be a really, really sick victory for this guy. Here he's kind of up against the number 2 in the region. That's a tough match, but he's looking really promising at the moment.
Yeah, and I think honestly, what it comes down to now is just one of the next 2 3-gate robos needs to work, because he's going to do it 2 games in a row. He's on match point. He's going to go to his best build 100%. He's going to pull it out 2 games in a row. Can Nice handle it? Because he's got to handle it twice. That is my prediction. I've looked in my crystal ball, and we'll see exactly how it unravels, but it would be so huge if ButAlways takes this match being serious. It would be massive. A couple of very decisive attacks. I do think Nice did let that Death Aura slip away a little bit, right? That first win for ButAlways. I think that one especially, he had a nice little lead in and a few just overly aggressive moves. So we're going to see what happens. I mean, that previous game was just great play, and clearly, I think just awesome patience to not overcommit to the one base attack. Maybe if Nice just took the natural, would have been in a better spot, but played it safe and almost too safe. Well, we're going to go into map number 4 now. Ooh, this is so sick to see this region heating up. More PvP games. Let's go.
Yes, it's always an exciting time. PvP is really boring, I find. It can be a knife fight, it can be a nice long macro game, but seems like we're keeping it short here still. Now we're on Romanticide, and in the bottom right here in the red, he is on match point once again. It is ButAlways.
Hey,
Hydro
trademark
homies.
move. Yeah, that stay hydrated bot can get out of here. Get out of here. But up here in the top left, of course, the favorite. He is Nice. It's nice. You know, some people made fun of Cyril for that interview back in 2017 before he ascended, but I actually have heard a theory from certain conspiratorial corners of the internet. He was momentarily possessed by a spirit that was simply foretelling the rise of this Taiwanese beast. But will it be a long rise to the top? Because right now he's sitting in that throne on Taiwan. He's the defending champ from last season, but he's already got a challenger here knocking on the door, looking to drag him down into the mud. You know, you can't rest on your laurels in StarCraft. There's so many people out there who are one-time champions. They come out, they make it to the top of their region, on the top of a big international event. They get there, but then staying there is like just a completely different story. It's like, oh, no, you got a big target painted on your back, mate. Suddenly you've got everyone preparing for you, right? They're all like, oh, that's the guy I've got to beat if I want to win this thing. They're thinking about you, they're theory crafting, whereas you've got the entire bracket to think about. You just can't have the same amount of research and preparation against everyone. However, if you're playing ButAlways, you know 100% he's going to 3-gate proxy robo again. And it's exactly what he's doing. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. 2 Stalkers, Warp Gate go down. We're going to see the robo come down right behind that. And it's a low ground wall off for Nice. Now, this is actually really interesting because this map has a gigantic main base. You're looking at a Prism 3-gate Stalker attack coming in there. ButAlways is a big fan of going straight into the corner of the main, unloading 4 Stalkers, warping in another 4, and just going, right? He will commit super duper hard sometimes to that. Won't even wait for an Immortal at times. And Nice, I mean, spread out, trying to defend this natural at the front. He's going to go with an Adeptus Scout, a Stalker behind it. And I think we'll see a Robo and Immortals. I mean, that's what he went for in the previous match on Death Aura. There has been Stargate Void Ray defenses we've seen that have worked out very well, though. So, interesting to see how this goes.
Okay, well, sticking with the old faithful build, and Romanticide is a map where it's a little bit harder to scout where those structures are. There's a lot of nooks and crannies you gotta look. Nice is doing a solid effort at it. He's really taken the long tour around the map, but his Adept will poke up there, get bullied away by the Stalker, and the initial poke from ButAlways here is going to start. There is a shield battery there and 2 of Nice's own Stalkers, so he has to be a little bit careful to not lose any units too early on here. And in fact, Nice is pressing the issue.
That's super aggressive. I think this is a really bad move from Nice, because if he loses these two Stalkers, that's way better for ButAlways. Every unit is sacred for Nice moving out here. Oh, ButAlways changes targets. He needed to finish that Stalker off, so it ends up actually just being a Stalker for a Stalker, but nonetheless, we've got 3 gateways finished. There's already 3 Stalkers here, more warping in. I'm surprised he isn't just going for that main base. I really think that might be the best move. There is a shield battery up there, but there's 3 on the natural. It's a Void Ray, a couple of Stalkers, and Adept. Meanwhile, here we go for 7 Stalkers on the front. They're going to look to focus on that red hit point Stalker. Ooh, going for the Adept first of all. There's a lot of shield batteries, though.
There are, and the Void Ray now joining the fray. There's one very hurt Stalker there that it's good to target. There's an Adept that's pretty loose looking as well. But, ooh, he's really just not able to get too much done with this amount of shield batteries. And this is precisely what Nice needs to keep doing, just dropping more and more of those. It gives you so much longevity on those defensive units. And he's getting a second Void Ray out shortly as well. Now, unfortunately, the core is very exposed, and Stalkers are a bit of a key unit here for him.
Void Rays can get one shot when you hit one more round of Stalker warp-ins. Like they're gonna be able to get one shot potentially. So you gotta be really careful here. Nice force field traps an Adept and a Stalker out front. Overcharge does come down. And quick warp, quick pickups. You gotta pull back though, ButAlways. Ooh, ButAlways I think has to get out of there. That battery overcharge is too much. I don't know if he has the numbers. He loses a whole bunch of Stalkers and sentries here. The Void Rays come forward for the punish. And Immortal does waddle forward though. That could potentially turn things around. Prismatic alignment is off. There is 9 Stalkers available. Tons of energy here for Nice, but not that many units on the ground. It's all about the Void Rays.
Indeed. Few of the Stalkers of ButAlways very hurt, but he's using the Warp Prism to micro as much as possible. That Immortal adding a lot of damage on that ground force. He's trying to focus the Void Rays, but it's hard to gain any ground when there's this many shield batteries and more being built still. He's going to continue trying to bust through the natural doorway here.
Oh, that's 12 Stalkers. If those Void Rays get volleyed, they're going to be in big trouble. It's all about those Void Rays, but you know what? They've got Prismatic alignment. They turn around, and the punish comes in. Hot pickups by ButAlways. He tries to get revenge. Can he finish that Void Ray? Oh my god. Nice's micro is out of control. The battery overcharge comes down. None of the Void Rays have fallen in this game, and 8 Stalkers and 2 sentries have gone down. ButAlways just not able to seal the deal on that. Now there's 4 Void Rays. This is an amazing defense by Nice.
Looking really good. More shield batteries coming up yet again. He is finally going to get one of those Void Rays, but he's got so little left on the ground to continue the attack. It's not as easy to snipe. He could lose the Immortal. Pick it up. Oh, it's so weak, and down it goes. But always running out of steam here, and he gets bullied away from that completely. GG.
Did you see the toss back of the head? That was insane. Oh my god. Tosses their head back. It was, I think he missed microed a few moments there. One moment, he threw 2 volleys onto the gateway when he was fighting me. Threw 2 full volleys onto the gateway. Oh, didn't rotate in the main at all either, which I think definitely was an option that was available. You know, not getting that Stalker early on. There was a few little moments, and you could see ButAlways, he bounces up and down a little bit. I think he looked a little bit excited there, realizing on the cusp of victory. And it was a decent situation from it's always a tense micro battle, don't get me wrong. And Nice just kept getting those Void Rays back just at time. Honestly, that was Knife's edge. I can't believe Nice would choose to even do this expand against ButAlways. Like the balls on this guy is just crazy.
Yeah. He held really, really well. It was it looked really tough. It looked like he was maybe just about to start culling some of these units. Maybe he was just about to get a hole in that wall that he could really push through. I agree the main would have been a nice option, because look how much investment in the shield batteries on that low ground this cost him, and that's why he was able to continue dancing back up and forwards, using those Void Rays beautifully, keeping them all alive. He only lost 1 at the end, and that went really well for Nice overall. So an excellent defense, and this is why he's one of the top dogs. He's very hard to kill.
Yeah, defensive mastermind. You know, Haas is just a wild man, a strategy wild man, but Nice, there are certain moments where he just shows a class of micro control execution across the board. Like his skill set across the board. When Nice knows what he's doing and is like confident in his situation, he looks head and shoulders, I think, above everybody in the region, including Haas. Like, Haas has his special areas of the game, but Nice, it feels like, just has this general skill set that is spread so evenly across the game. And he showed it in that game with that perfect defense. It was very nicely done. And I still think he's crazy for fast expanding against ButAlways, but you know what? He ended up losing when he played super safe with one base, right? Against the 3-gate robo. So maybe he's actually just more confident, saying, look, let's just get the expansion up. I know this defense really well. I trust my micro. I'm going to put my faith in that.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, we've seen a similar thing from Haas as well in these PvPs. He was going Nexus first every single game for a bit. You know, he's just not a bother for him at all. He's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I'll keep an expansion every game if I want. I'll go 3 Nexus. You know, stop me, try. Yeah, I think Nice is... I agree with you. I think he is more well-rounded. Haas is a bit of a specialist. You know, he's known for certain things, and interestingly, you know, he is going up against Rex in our next and final series of the night after this one concludes, and the winner of this match will be going up against the winner of that. And look, not to get too ahead of myself here, but I think it's fairly likely we'll see Haas come out the victor there. He's got a great win rate against Zerg in general. Rex has had a hard time against him, so, you know, this is good context for him too, seeing a few practice PvPs if that's what's coming up next, before he has to play a Protoss himself. But yeah, this is going to a game 5, and I think we all very confidently put Nice as like the victor for this one. We're like, yeah, he's got it. It's fine. And I don't know. Maybe ButAlways will prove us all wrong.
Oof, he just might. Of course, when you are in this situation, it's tied to a piece. You need to go to that tie-breaking 5th game. Where better to settle it than on a yellow submarine? That's right. We are going on to the smallest map in the pool, the shortest rush distance. So far, Nice has won 2 games where he fast expanded and defended the 1 base all in. The games that went a bit further, he ended up losing in. Does he go back to the expansion on the shortest rush distance, or does he mix it up and try to find his way into a longer game? In the top left, representing Alpha X, it is Nice.
Nice, looking very unruffled against this slightly more animated opponent in the red, with a fantastic showing so far. Can he close it out though? It's ButAlways.
Oh, we didn't catch a victory sip this time. Looked like maybe just a scratch of the nose there, but excited. I think definitely looking very excited. And gosh, you know, like I always tell the story, but ButAlways inspired me the first time I watched him play, and I was like, oh, if you actually just have really sick Prism Stalker control, you can go 3-gate robo every game and actually be very, very, very high level at PvP. Like, I literally just copied him for 6 months, and it was actually the highest my PvP's ever been, you know. And it was literally, he inspired me because I just couldn't believe that he did it like 8 games in a row when people knew it was coming every game, and I kept winning, and I was like, oh, wow. Like, you know, there's that moment where someone knows a build so deeply and so innately that their opponents can't deal with it even when they know it's coming, and that's a scary thing. It's a fearful weapon to wield, and I think it might be that again. I was going to say submarine, you can't really proxy too close to their base because it's such a small map, but puts it over there, and that's going to be like, I would never check that spot if I was Nice.
Yeah, there's still a decent number of places you can pop it down. I guess it's one of those things where it's like, fear not the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who's practiced 1 kick 10,000 times. Same with the build. This is why you can get away with going the same strategy over and over and over. But so far, we've got a couple of adepts coming out from Nice here, as ButAlways gets the scout off there in the main. And ButAlways has actually opted for the Stalkers as usual.
Yeah, what's cool here is you hide the pylon, and you're actually going to be seeing, I'm pretty sure, a fast expand out of ButAlways. There's going to be a 4 Stalker pressure, so it looks identical, but is going to focus a bit more on information denial. So, ooh, Nice is checking everywhere, though. This scouting! Oh, does barely glimpse it. And no proxy. So the Adepts as well are going to give some confirmation behind this. Nice is going for a Stargate and 2 Stalkers of his own. Nice wall off here and a 3rd gateway. Ooh, okay. It's actually going to be a 3-gate. Okay, 3-gate minus the Robo, and we're going to see a forward pylon, and we might even see a 4th gateway out of there if this goes on long enough. 2 Stalkers versus 2 Stalkers. Nice there, slightly ahead on the first volley. Does end up winning that skirmish for a moment. The Adepts coming back, trying to stack up and win this trade, but remember, 4 Stalkers now grouping up. That does beat 2 Stalkers and 2 Adepts. Nice has to pull back to the shield battery. He's making a Void Ray for safety here, and once again, it's that same situation, but the Robo is way later this time for ButAlways.
He may want another couple of shield batteries pretty fast here because he's going to have to hold on against a few units. He's just trading with these Stalkers so far. Nice pullbacks from ButAlways, and with that Void Ray coming out, he's going to have to wait a little bit for just a few more Stalkers before he goes in there again.
These 2 Stalkers did stagger themselves a little bit. Take a while to come in, but they are now on the way. 7, 9 Stalkers. That's a lot. There's no extra shield battery yet. Oh, has Nice been a bit too greedy? He may have been. That's a lot of Stalkers. They might just dive on this. There's no healing right now. But, ooh, Prismatic Alignment comes in. Good pullbacks, but he runs forward. That Void Ray is so low, but the battery overcharge. And that is it. Empty battery until you bait it in, and then at the last moment activates it. Nice there. Great trigger discipline on that shield battery. Really good patience.
Very well done. Gosh, he's so impressive defensively. Another shield battery is going to be finishing up momentarily here to give him a bit more energy to play with. Another Prismatic Alignment arrives with that new Void Ray as well. And he's continuing to focus the weaker Stalkers here, trying to pick off whatever he can if it's possible. Good pullback still from ButAlways, trying to keep a hold of what he has. Now starting to target the Void Rays. He does get one of them.
Already 6 Stalkers have gone down though for ButAlways. Now he's got more production, don't get me wrong. He can keep massing these Stalkers to some extent, but he needs to get more Void Rays down. The problem is Overcharge is going to come off cooldown in 10 seconds. There's not a lot of battery healing, but look at this. Another one finishes just in time. Battery overcharges back up in just a few seconds, and I don't think this is enough Stalkers to just fight through it. At this point, it feels like Nice is actually winning these little skirmishes. I think ButAlways maybe needs to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah. It's a rough moment, right? Because you're so close to maybe closing this out. Your aggression is your strong point. You're continuing with the builds that you know and trust that have gotten you so many wins. And it's hard not to get a little bit trigger happy, like, oh, no, I have to get in there. I have to start sniping some units. But the reality is that Nice is confident enough to sit here making probes 2 at a time. He's got a great spread here with the shield batteries. And he's not too concerned at the moment. We see some Adepts being sprinkled in now with that Nexus being built behind this for ButAlways.
It's a lot of Void Rays. 3 Void Rays, 7 Stalkers in Adept. Only 11 Stalkers, 2 Sentries. They're going to try and move forward. 2 Adepts trying to come on in. Nice. Ooh, just rolls off at the last moment. I like the addition of the Adepts here, just giving Nice more things to worry about. Probing, though, very late. Only now starts up behind this. There is a Warp Prism on the way, a Robo Bay. Interesting. So, kind of saying, look, you got Void Rays, but I don't really think they're going to be the biggest problem. If I can just take out all the units on the ground, Stalkers can deal with the Void Rays. So, I would imagine we're going to see a Disruptor come in and go from there. Now, Observer will come in and see this Oracle. And oh, look at that quick spot from Nice in the main. Reveal the Observer, and it has to run out of there. But shield battery goes down, so nonetheless good information, which means you're not going to take any counter damage. You are still down 10 workers. I mean, Nice is in a much better position, but it really is just the Disruptor dream for ButAlways, because he's not probing. He's going to go for one big Disruptor shot on the ground and try to just focus down the Void Rays. That's a very hard fight to pull off.
Those Disruptors really change things up. And I thought Nice found that pylon down there and he might have gotten rid of it, but I guess not. It's a bit of an exposed tech, but you know, Nice doesn't really have any reason to hop down there at the moment. He's just continuing to pump out these egg units, going into the Robo of his own now and starting to venture forward a little bit, being like, oh, okay, I don't think you're here, but ButAlways has returned once again to continue the attack. He loves being in his opponent's face like this. Another Disruptor is about to finish back at home, can be rallied across to here to fortify this army even more.
Nice is
That
hitting
is quite
6 gate
forced.
production though, right? So this
Yeah.
is something where time is running out of the hourglass right now, you know. Oh, get the observer and puts down a stasis trap, even more things.
Oh no, he walks right into it. Yeah, disruptor shot a little bit lackluster there.
ButAlways is building forward shield batteries, waiting for that second disruptor. Wants to siege him down here, and I guess you can sometimes volley Void Rays down, and that's what it's all about. ButAlways needs to basically show that Void Rays don't scale too well as a unit. Is that possible? I don't know. The Phoenix, a lovely disable on the disruptor shot.
Yeah, well, that prismatic alignment goes off, is wearing off shortly though, and ButAlways just trying to poke at other units, not engage those Void Rays directly right away. That was a decent hit from the disruptor. The more of those will look really good for him. He's actually sort of muscling himself a little wedge of this this natural from Nice, finding good position. Oracle here trying to do a bit of damage behind this. Some Phoenixes joining in as well. They could definitely lift the disruptors out of the fight or take out that War Prism perhaps. But
Yeah.
it looks like a bit of patience here for ButAlways as he tries to find the way forward here.
It's a bit of a desperate all-in, but you know what? There's still not that much tech. Oh, one disruptor shot goes off. Another one comes in. Will it land? 2 more stalkers do go down to it. Those Void Rays, though. Oh, my lord. The Void Ray damage. You cannot stand in that prismatic alignment. A giant Void Ray beam of death, and that is just absolute obliteration. ButAlways army crumbles under that pressure. The shield batteries cannot out-heal that much damage output. And Nice weathers the storm, defending the fast expand. It seemed to be the one thing that he was able to do here.